They say the sweetness of the honey lies in the bee itself. Now today we're in Githunguri with Mr. B at his farm, where he's going to take us through the concrete beehive, making of beehives using concrete rather than the traditional wood. And Mr. Matheri tells us these are some of the conditions that a bee needs to ensure that the quality of the honey that is produced is the best quality. My name is Melissa Odor, and this is Lessons from the Entrepreneur.
My name is Joseck Matheri, CEO, Mr. B. I'm a father of 4 children, a husband to 1. Mr. B is research and development agribusiness company. We are an organization that researches, specializes on apiculture. Basically, that is a study of bees and their behavior, and coming up with solutions that are apiculture oriented. As Mr. B, we've been in operation officially since 2020, but that's when we now started making the concrete hives. But we had about 4 years prior where we were purely doing research on how to make the concrete hives, and so we involved in a lot of engineering designs before we could actually come up with designs that would work. Why the concrete hive? You'll be surprised to learn that we have a lot of potential in honey in this part of Africa, and a number of challenges come its way. The Kenyan statistics, for example, given by the Ministry of Agriculture, is that our demand for honey on a yearly basis is about 125 million kilos of honey every year. But all the beekeepers combined in this country produce about 25 million kilos only. So that's basically a fifth of the production of what is needed. So we asked ourselves, normally in agriculture, you'd have a lot of supply and very little demand. But this is a sector of agriculture, the apiculture, where you have so much demand and such little supply. So we asked ourselves why. As we studied, we came across challenge number 1. The number 1 reason why beekeeping is failing in Kenya, Africa, and especially these areas of Ethiopia, Sudan, Tanzania, is because of the honey badger, which is actually a predator that is currently rated by the Guinness Book of Record as the most courageous animal in the whole world. When a honey badger smells honey, it would rather die but eat the honey. And so it does anything and everything to make sure it eats that honey. So what it does is that it breaks wooden hives with lots of ease because it has very strong metallic-like claws. One hive has about 8,000 bees. And even if all the bees came for the honey badger, it's immune to the bee stings. So it's a very difficult animal to deal with. Many farmers have lost their hives to the honey badger. So what has happened is that people have given up beekeeping one by one because of the honey badger. And so we had to come up with a solution. And that is what inspired us to come up with a beehive that the honey badger is unable to bring.
This is where action is happening. When you look at this hive, has these plates, so to call them, but they are not plates. This is what we call kaluki guards. Is our technology for trapping black ants, safari ants, and white ants to ensure that they don't enter into the hive, because if they get into the hive and disturb the bees can even leave the hive. They abscond because of that disturbance of the white ants, black ants, and safari ants. This hive is solid, and part of the reason for this is that this is a honey badger free beehive, because it's too heavy for the honey badger to come and interfere with this beehive. That is number 1. The other thing is that this hive is lockable. Sometimes we put a chain here and lock down there, just to ensure there is no interference from the locals who can be a bit malicious. And the biggest advantage we have with this hive is actually the thermodynamic advantage, because like now it's a little bit cold. In a wooden hive, it tends to be also cold inside. But in this hive, it is warm inside because the heat generated by the bees inside their beehive does not escape. And you'll be seeing just now what that means in terms of honey production. So we smoke not to harm the bees, but to confuse their communication. So smoke is found to confuse the bees such that ukiitishwa kikombe unaleta kijiko, ukiitishwa maji unaleta ugali, you know. So that makes it very hard for the bees to attack you because they are not having the normal consistent communication channel. So this is how a brood chamber looks like now. Okay, this is a one stair. It's a brood chamber where we have the queen bee here, and she's laying about 2,000 eggs on a daily basis. So when you are coming to inspect, we inspect the brood just to find out about the health of the bees, but not to harvest honey. We don't harvest honey from the brood chamber, no. We basically just want to find out how healthy the colony is. If you look at this, you see some whitish substance. Okay, if you zoom in, and those are the eggs the queen is laying. And after 21 days, 24 days, they become bees. Okay? And so we open here to see how well is the queen doing in terms of laying the eggs, because that tells us about the future of this family. So when she lays these eggs, as you can see those white substances, we have a bit of larvae there for the bees. In some few days, they're gonna be full bees. We had harvested honey from this hive 2 weeks ago only. But because of being concrete, the bees are extremely comfortable. They make honey much faster than usual hive. So we harvested everything. 2 weeks down the line, they have made more honey. Now this is honey. What you can see here is honey, but this is also honey. But this honey is capped. That's why it has a whitish substance. Now that means this part of the honey is mature. We'll have to wait until the bees cap all this frame with the honey. And that is the time it will be right for us to come and harvest.
From January up to October 2020, we made hives every day and they broke every day. And the reason was, we were doing something which nobody had done before. So we didn't have a reference point. And at our workshop, there is what we call our, my bishop calls it the humility corner, because we have a pile, we have a heap of broken hives. So every day we had a formula of not like this, not like this, not like this. Another page, we have a black book actually, with so many failed formulas, until finally we got the formula. And I'll be very, very honest with you. We actually had to call our bishop for prayers, and after prayers, 2 days actually after that, praying and anointing our workshop with oil, we found a formula that has not failed up to date. The beautiful thing with concrete is that it lasts for a lifetime, so say 70, 80, 90, possibly even 100 years. So we are happy to provide to the beekeepers a hive that lasts a lifetime for the first time. And that means that any of our customers who has purchased our beehives, those hives will be utilized not only by themselves, but by their children and their children's children. If I was to do things differently, start off again, all over again, and Mr. B, one of the things I would really do is to listen to the beekeepers on the ground. What are their problems? What are their challenges? Because I know we were initially focused on the innovation. We know we are so proud we are making the first ever concrete beehive. You know, that was so exciting. But as much as that was solving so many problems, there is one main problem that we didn't know what to do about it until we are like 1 year in the business. And that is, people would have beehives, they're excited about them, but they didn't know what to do about them. Okay, so they would stay for long periods without bees. Bees would come and they don't exactly know what to do. And then whenever we would send our people, there would be issues of incurring charges and stuff like that. But as I listened to a number of beekeepers, I realized what they really needed was somebody who would sort out their technical challenges with the beekeeping. And that's why we came up with this business model which is an end-to-end business model where we not only leave you with the hives, but for the next 3 years, we manage them with you and for you. So that is something we missed from the beginning because of excitement of coming up with the first ever concrete hive. But now we are very keen on the ground and it has worked for us. We are now on our 5th different version of a concrete beehive. So as much as in 2020 we made one, we have made version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, we are now version 5. And each version is an improvement of the other because of listening, because of being keen on the ground, and being solutions oriented. There's a lot of potential in this country, a lot of it. And we need to find a way of tapping that potential and pushing it forward to execution, okay? And so I would encourage many people to not only do copy pasting, you know, you see someone with soda baridi, you do soda baridi as well, you know, to do something different. Ask yourself, what is the pain in the people that I'm trying to address their problem? And think like you can fly, you know? Think like you can fly and come up with those solutions, share them with friends, and you'll be surprised you come up with an innovation and a solution that will help many and that will also be useful to you.
After a long day at the farm now, we are so glad that the concrete beehives are actually very beneficial to the bees and the honey that is coming out. Wow, it's working. Wow. It's an innovation that is coming on very well. Beautiful. So thank you for a great day at Mr. B's farm, Mr. Joseck Matheri himself sharing the insights on how a concrete beehive is beneficial to the bees and in bee and honey making. My name is Melissa Odor and this is Lessons from the Entrepreneur.